Welcome to your friendly neighborhood historian, where we discuss just enough history to inform, intrigue, and entertain. I'm Bill Petro. The history of the 40 Martyrs of Sebaste, the Roman Empire versus Christian soldiers. A curious occurrence happened in the early 4th century of the Roman Empire. The early church historian Eusebius tells the story of his contemporary, the Roman Emperor Constantine, before a battle in 312 AD against his rival Emperor Maxentius at the Milvian Bridge outside of Rome. Constantine had a dream, or a vision, that he was told to conquer in the sign of Christ. Explaining this to his troops, they made a battle standard of the Greek letters chi and rho, the first two letters of Christ in Greek, and they were victorious. Constantine converted to Christianity and in 313 AD declared in the Edict of Milan that Christianity was now a legitimate religion. In Latin, that would be religio licita, with toleration toward Christians across the Roman Empire. This ended the empire-wide great persecution of the church under the early emperor Diocletian, but it didn't stay that way. Constantine's brother-in-law and co-ruler, the Emperor Licinius, co-authored this edict, ending the persecution of Christians, but civil war soon erupted between them. Licinius was Augustus in the East Empire, the Balkans, and Constantine was the Augustus of the West, not to be confused with Emperor Julius Augustus. In Greek-speaking provinces, the honorific title Augustus was translated as Sebastos, meaning venerable. So Augustus was a title, not a name. Licinius began to persecute Christians in his province in 316 AD, perhaps fearing their mutiny to go to his rival Constantine, who favored Christians. Licinius expelled Christians from his palace, interfered with internal church procedures and organization, and ordered the military to sacrifice to the Roman gods. This is where the rubber meets the road. In 320 AD, the Roman 12th Legion, known as Armed with Thunder, was stationed in Sebaste, which is now the town of Sivas in Turkey. Their nickname was Fulminata, meaning thunderstruck, and they had a thunderbolt on their shields. They were famed for the miraculous rain and the victory they obtained by their prayers during their service to the early emperor Marcus Aurelius. Think of Richard Harris in the film Gladiator. The local governor, Agricolas, insisted upon strict obedience to Licinius's order to sacrifice to the pagan gods, but 40 of his Christian soldiers refused to do so. Bishop Basil of Caesarea tells the story 50 years later after the events took place in this way. They were taken into custody, unsuccessfully bribed to deny their faith, interrogated, and beaten cruelly with stones, whips, hooks, and chains, but refused to renounce their faith. None surrendered. They were then imprisoned until Lysias, the commander of the 12th Legion, arrived. Lysias again demanded that the soldiers submit to worshiping the gods in honor of the emperor. They again refused. Finally, they were ordered to strip off their garments and march onto the frozen lake below the walls of Sebaste during the worst winter, to die slowly of exposure due to the weather. Sentinels guarded the lake's perimeter, tending the fires along the edge, and tormented the Christian soldiers to renounce their faith with warm water baths along the edge of the lake should they leave and come to the shore. The 40 naked soldiers on the lake encouraged each other and sang hymns. They prayed aloud, "Lord, we are 40 engaged in this contest. Grant that 40 may receive crowns and that we may not fall short of that sacred number." As the night went on, the guard Aglaeus waited to see if anyone might deny Christ and cross the ice. As he watched, he had a vision of crowns coming down from heaven for each of the Christian soldiers except for one. One of the soldiers had abandoned the contest and ran to the bathhouse, but he died as he entered the bath. Seeing this, Aglias professed, "I too am a Christian," and stripped off his clothes to join the others on the frozen lake, making the number 40 complete. The next morning, the commander was infuriated by the turn of events, and those who survived had their legs broken and were carried away by wagons. A young soldier, Melito, remained alive. His mother, a poor widow, but rich in faith, pleaded with him to persevere and carried him until he died, after which she placed his body on the wagon. The 40 then were all cast, either dead or alive, into the fire. The 40 Martyrs of Sebaste are venerated by the Eastern Orthodox Church, the Oriental Orthodox, Eastern Catholic, and Roman Catholic churches on March the 10th in the post-1970 Western calendar and on March the 9th in the East. Thank you for listening. I'm Bill Petro, your friendly neighborhood historian. You can find more details on this topic and others on my website at billpetro.com.